Well, breaking news from overseas, there appears to be a hurdle to clear before the UK can leave the European Union. The Supreme Court in the UK has just ruled that Parliament has to vote on whether the government can start the Brexit process. That means Prime Minister Theresa May cannot begin talks with the European Union until MPs give their support. But that's expected to happen in time for the government's deadline at the end of March. The Supreme Court also ruled that the Scottish Parliament and Welsh and Northern Ireland assemblies did not need a say. A spokesperson for Theresa May says the British people voted to leave the EU and the government will deliver on their verdict, triggering Article 50 as planned by the end of March. Well, today's ruling does nothing to change that. In last June's referendum, UK voters backed Brexit by about 52% to 48%. A 17-year-old boy is recovering in hospital this morning after he was stabbed in the chest inside a high school in Etobicoke. Thistletown Collegiate Institute was under lockdown yesterday after a 15-year-old boy was allegedly jumped by several other teens, including a 17-year-old inside a bathroom. A student told City News that the 15-year-old then returned to the cafeteria with a knife. That 17-year-old was rushed to hospital in non-life-threatening condition and had a stab wound to the chest. Police have detained and charged the 15-year-old boy with assault causing bodily harm. 3 puppies have been rescued from the mountain hotel in central Italy that was engulfed by an avalanche last week. Remarkably, the puppies were found alive 6 days after the avalanche hit the 4-story hotel. 7 deaths have been confirmed, but 22 people are still missing. 2 people were outside the hotel when the snow hit, and 9 people were brought out alive. There's still hope, although it is slim. There could be more survivors trapped in air pockets. New details are also emerging that guests at the hotel were terrified by the earthquakes that hit the area, but were prevented from leaving because of the heavy snowfall and drifts that hit the region as well. And we have some breaking news from the TTC. Right now, there's currently no subway service on Line 2 between Don Lands and Vic Park stations. That's due to signal issues. The TTC just tweeted that about a moment ago. Shuttle buses are now running, and once again, there is no service from Vic Park to Don Lands on Line 2, and that's because of signal issues. If you'd like a good demolition, you're going to love this one from China. Nineteen buildings, each one 7 to 12 stories tall, were destroyed simultaneously in central China. The implosion was reportedly the largest ever in the country, covering 15 hectares. It required more than 5 tons of explosives placed in 120,000 locations. The demolition experts had to be very exact because, of course, there were adjacent buildings and a working train line close by. The buildings were brought down to make way for a new business center. Well, the award season heating up later this morning with the Academy Award nominations set to be announced in just a few hours. But there are already some movies that are just about guaranteed to make the list. La La Land will no doubt be a front-runner. The musical earned a record haul at the Golden Globes, a total of 7 wins there, including Best Actor in a Musical for Canadian Ryan Gosling. Some expect La La Land to pick up as many as 14 nominations this morning.
That guy was up there before we got here.
He stopped a Chinese throwing star with a look.
Perhaps the biggest question will be Canada's other Ryan. You saw him there, BC's Ryan Reynolds. Will he get any love for Deadpool, of course? It was one of the biggest hits of the year. And then, of course, with the nominations, they'll be announced at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll bring them to you live here on Breakfast Television. The 89th Academy Awards take place February 26th. Jimmy Kimmel will be hosting. And you're getting a look right now at some of the worst movies of 2016. The Razzie nominations were released last night, and as is tradition, the night before the Oscar nominations, And the frontrunner is Zoolander 2. It earned a whopping 9 nominations, including Worst Picture, Worst Actor, and Worst Director for Ben Stiller. Not far behind was Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, which received 8. The Golden Raspberry Awards will be handed out the day before the Oscars next month. And we're heading to break here on Breakfast Television. More BT when we come back. Stay with us.